Hey, Maddie, how are you?
Hello, Haley Jefferson. I am good, my love. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to be talking to you today. We've got a good
Yay.
topic. It's
Okay,
good.
cool, cool.
It's good. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, we need it.
Funny, ha ha, funny, awkward.
hmm
But today we're going to have a conversation about navigating tricky conversations with clients. And
Nice.
so we want to clarify that this is not about people being out and out offensive.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't about people saying terribly racist things or
Yeah.
transphobic things or, real offensiveness. This is more just like icky,
The ones.
awkward when you're like, oh, I don't want to talk about
Yeah,
this. It's not for
yeah,
me. And so I think we can, I think categories that would, fall into this. It's things like politics, religion, money, and people just being really nosy. Like I
hmm
think they're the things we can categorize that
yeah,
can feel really icky for a lot of hairdressers.
yeah. Agreed.
I think what's interesting is like, there's always that old thing, isn't there, to say never discuss politics and religion.
Yeah,
And it's really interesting, I think, that sort of thing. But I'm interested let's have a discussion about how this pans out behind the
yeah.
chair. And so let's work through them
Okay.
and we'll see what we think. And so let's start with sort of politics, religion. How do you feel about this, Maddie?
So no one will be shocked to hear this. I'm more than happy to talk politics and religion, and I was behind the chair. But the difference is that I am confident in talking about these. So I would say I'm politically active. I'd class myself as. I have very, very firm political views, and because I share those, I tended for the most part, to attract people who are sort of fairly like-minded. So, we've spoken about this before, but in the last general election, I was like out here doing the Lord's work and trying to, campaigning. And I was like, I'll take you to the polling station, get registered to vote, and having conversations with people who were like really not super disengaged politically. So I'm happy to have those types of conversations personally. I am not a religious person, but I'm totally okay with people talking about their religion. I've had some really interesting conversations with religious clients where they tell me certain is the word maybe like rituals or traditions and why they do certain things. And I love that. I'm a big people watcher, so I like learning about people. So yeah, but maybe I've had like a bit of a lucky rap that they've all pretty much been in my favour, I suppose. So that maybe makes that a touch easier. What about you?
It's so interesting you mentioned the last general election. We must have both been behind the chair then, but I remember this is when I think about this coming up a lot, because I think before that, it didn't seem to come up loads where I was working, political conversations. It didn't really seem to be a thing. But the last general election was quite, it was a big thing, wasn't it? Well, as they all are. But I remember it being a funny one. And I remember where I was working, it was everybody who worked there was Labour voters. That's just how it went. And I had this client I'd been doing for a few years since I'd been working there, and I coloured her hair and somebody else cut it. And we were chatting, and she just sort of said to me in passing, like, well, you're a Tory voter, aren't you? And I was like, no.
What?
And it was like she just presumed I was, and then couldn't believe I wasn't.
Yeah.
And I just sort of said,
you do give big Tory energy.
I mean, massive Tory energy. And I was just like, no. And she said, I just presumed you would be because you're self-employed. And I was like, no,
what a weird flex.
Absolutely not. I vote for the greater good. That's my opinion, not just for myself. And and then and then I said to her, Melanie's not either, about the woman that cut her hair. And she was just like, oh. And I think it really changed things for her.
Yeah.
That's what happened. I think she'd made presumptions about us. And when I didn't even say anything like anti-Tory. I just said, I'm not. I'm not, and I was kind of laughing that she thought I was, and she got a bit weird after that. It was like she didn't know what to do with herself, and I feel like she might have come back for one more hairdo, and then we didn't really see her again.
She went down to the Tory salon.
She found herself a Tory salon somewhere, but like it was so bizarre that
it's weird.
Changed things for her.
Yeah, I have this thought, and I want to run it past you actually, because this came up for me quite recently. I was talking to someone that we work with in the business in a kind of support capacity, and he's like, business dude, traditional, whatever. I don't know. I'm not going to make any judgment on how anyone votes or guess. But we had this conversation. He said, "Oh, people don't talk about who they're voting for." I said, "Oh, I disagree. I think lefties talk about who they're voting for. Well, all my mates know who we're voting for. I think conservatives don't talk." And I always wonder, is there a little bit of a like, I'm going to get judged? Yeah, you are. I'm going to judge you. But anyway, that's for another day. And I thought maybe she was a bit like awkward because she's maybe thinking, oh, you guys are all going to be in your head thinking, oh, I'm in opposition to this person, or, are you judging me for, but whether you do or you don't, you probably don't. You're a good egg.
I believe you have to live in the world with people you don't agree with, and you've got to find a way to do that.
I know, but
yeah,
we're having a political discussion.
I know, but I just sort of think, that's, I just decide to rub along with people, and just be like, oh, whatever. I think,
sorry, I was going to say, I think it's harder when in that realization, when you realize that you have opposing views, or if someone says something that like triggers a particular values point in you or something deeper, that you're a bit like, they might make a comment about housing or who should get benefits or something like that, and I'm like, oh, this really is where I want to start like having that conversation with you. So I think that is hard at that point.
Yeah, and I think sometimes it can tip into that, sometimes it feels more offensive, doesn't it, sometimes as well. But then I do think that when someone says something that's completely opposite of a view that you hold and a value you hold dear, that's when I would be more likely to speak up. But I would really choose my moments, because I'm not up for arguing with people who can't change, like are not interested. Because I was, do you know what I mean? Like, I was thinking about the last election, actually. And I remember a client of mine saying, I literally don't know who to vote for. Who do you vote for her? And I said, I'm a Labour voter. And she said, why? And I told her why. And then she just was telling me why she was, and we had a discussion about
the one,
why she was leaning. And I was just genuinely interested in her thought process.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And so I just think, I don't mind it when I'm interested in someone's thought process. Like, again, like you said with religion, I had a lot of Jewish clients when I was hairdressing, and I was just really interested in the culture and their traditions and stuff. And, I'm just interested in people. And so I think it depends where you're coming from, but sometimes it can make you feel defensive when people have a different opinion. Some people can sort of feel defensive, where I try and just think of myself as interested in people.
Yes.
I know
what you mean.
It can be hard, can't it? Politics, religion, people can get heated.
Yeah.
I've got a funny story actually for you about politics.
On. Yeah.
When I worked in this salon, the one where the client presumed I was a Tory, it was around the time Brexit was going on. I mean, how boring did that get in the end? Like, everyone was just like, oh, sick of talking about it. And there was this thing where clients would bring it up quite a lot in the salon. And it came this running joke that if anyone said Brexit, the whole salon, all the staff would go, we don't talk about Brexit. No. In a really in a funny way, though. Everyone would start laughing and go, no Brexit talk. And then the clients would laugh and stop.
Yeah.
Because I think they didn't realise that we'd maybe get 9 clients a day, each of us saying that, like it was constant. And we all just decided, we all agreed that work there, didn't want to debate it, and it just got sick of talking about it. So we found this really funny way to just stop people talking about it.
And even like not on these topics, but I think what clients don't realise, and if you're a client for whatever reason listening to this, we have so many clients in, especially in a salon when there's a number of staff, we tell the same stories over and over again. Like, you know, when I got married and, you know, at my honeymoon, I must have told, and my client cycle was about 12 weeks, like for 12 weeks when clients like, oh, so how was it? How was the wedding? And you feel so awful because you know that the girls are like, oh my God, I've heard this so many times, and you've heard all of their stories. And we did have one or two stories that every time we heard them, we talked about them. I love, we went to Vegas together, and it was like, there was a period of it which was like The Hangover, like it was so funny. And I loved hearing it. I love telling it. And like every time we like regaled it, was amazing. But yeah, so it's bad enough even for normal life things, but having to like regale your whole like political stance and voting and whatever else. Yeah, I get that.
But it's interesting. I mean, there's going to be a general election this year at some point, and so
vote Labour, guys. I'm going to use my influence.
Subliminal messages into this.
For the many, not the few. Oh, I miss Jeremy. Anyway, should we talk about money here?
However, it's going to come up for people, the politics this year, though, isn't it? They're going to have to deal with it. But yeah, let's talk about money. Money's the next one, isn't it?
I think awkward stuff that happened, if we talk about the icky awkward stuff, when I was behind the chair, what I hear a lot of people talking about, obviously being a pricing person, money person, is the whole question of the price or question of the money. And was this much last time? Is this gone up? How much is this gone up by? Are you sure that's right? What did I pay last time? That's a really freaking awkward.
Yeah.
Get out.
Squirmy.
Yeah. What
I remember
else?
A client saying to me once, "You've charged me £2 more than my friend," and I just was like, "What?
This is why you need consistent pricing, man." All right, okay, they're just literally not.
You don't have the same thing. Oh, I just thought
that's so annoying.
Come off it.
Yeah, it's grim.
It's funnily enough, I just never had space to fit her in again. I think, sorry, too busy. I think what can be really awkward is when clients start asking you how much you make.
Yeah, because that is like it is still a taboo, isn't it? Like I remember being brought up and being like, you don't ask anyone their wage. Like that's a really rude question to ask. And since we're talking about socialism today, I think employed people should always discuss how much they make with each other, because you'll very quickly find out if you, and also join a union if you can, but to have those discussions, because in my old places of work, there was a massive disparity in people's pay. And when you know about that, you can say, well, I'm not, I want this pay rise because so-and-so does the same job as me. But
I remember being told to keep my pay rises secret.
No, I was just like, this is, you can imagine me, man, little baby socialist, being like, okay, this is what we need to do. I all of that.
A bit of an unofficial union leader for a while.
Yeah, same.
It's difficult. It's difficult, but we digress. It's another
episode,
that matter.
Get us hyped up.
I think clients asking you how much you make, like I've seen it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's happened to me, but I've seen it happening to other people, and people just being like, how are you doing? Are you doing well doing that? And how much are you making in a week?
I think they might sometimes have not asked directly, but they'll be like, they'll go, how many clients do you see in a week, or how many days? And they're trying to do like the mental arithmetic and even in this, what we do now, like, like education coaching, if I tell, say I'm talking to a family member or someone who's like not in the world of what we do, they'll go, so how much you charge for that? And how many people did you say you had on? Like, so the calculator, I'm like, but taxes and fees and whatever. And then the other sort of, wait till you see the tech stack. The other one, I guess, which is in the same thread, is like the PASAG implication that you've got money. So it's like, oh, look at that car. Oh, it's all right for summer. Oh, Maddie, another holiday. You're never here. We never see you. Oh, what a blessing that you've graced us with your presence this week.
Yes.
That sort of thing.
Loads of that. Oh, you were on holiday again. Oh, nice for some. Oh, awful. I've totally had that.
You wouldn't say that. Like, imagine talking to the checkout person at Tesco and she mentioned she's been on holiday. You'll go, well, I've paid for that.
Imagine saying that to your doctor or your dentist.
I know. It is mental, isn't it? It's absolutely wild. And also the nosiness, that's a bit of an awkward one, isn't it? Do you know you've got clients who know a bit about you, you've got a bit more of a deeper relationship, but sometimes when they're prying and they're not really someone that you would feel good sharing that info with.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? I think I've had those sorts of clients who just ask me relentless questions.
Yeah.
And if you ever ask them anything about them, it's just like, no, let's go back to you. And it's like, they're trying to find entertainment through your life.
Yeah,
I see that thing quite a lot. And I've actually talked about this quite a lot when I've been coaching. And I've had clients who, let's say they've been going through a divorce or something or a breakup, and they've been talking about it with their clients. But then clients keep asking about it. Yeah. And maybe you're in a phase of needing to talk about it constantly. And, you've been doing people a long time and you start talking about it, but then it's like you said, that 12-week cycle, and people are coming back and asking you, and it can drive you mad. Yeah, but some people are just dead nosy.
Oh, yeah, like...
Have you got kids? Are you dating?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Well, like, dating, there's someone that I worked with for a bit, and I'm very lucky because I've been with him a really long time, so there was not really that much of a dating phase in behind the chair. Although there was a breakup, and I do remember having those conversations and I was mobile, and I feel like when you're in someone's house, that's even more... You can get into that more because you're not like in the common salon, you're not with other people.
Oh, if you work one-on-one, the conversations,
so deep,
is more so. I talk about that a lot when I'm coaching as well.
Yeah, but I worked with someone, and I know, it can be hard to navigate. But I worked with someone, she was dating, and to be fair, I'll hold my hands up because I was like, I'm just intrigued. Like, Tinder wasn't a thing. I think it had just come out before me and Aidan started dating, so I was never on it. But I'm a bit obsessed. I'm like, can someone show me it? I want to see, like, how do you swipe and what does it look like, and what we're just looking at a picture and deciding if that's a person. I find it wild. And God love her, this woman was dating, and she had, oh my God, the most wild tales of dating sites and the messages and the photographs she was getting and the guys and oh my God. But obviously, all of us were in a really like long-term committed relationship, so we were probably pretty terrible in being like, egging her on, like, tell us how was this weekend, and have you been on another, calamitous day? And I think back, I'm like, poor lass, like, had to relive.
That's a miserable life. I find married people think internet dating must be so much fun, and like, I can assure you it's not.
Oh no, I have no envy whatsoever. I mean, I can barely message the people that I actually really like that I've known for a long time. Like, I'd have object permanence. I'd be like, oh, you live in my phone, I just forgot to message you for like 5 months. I've seen
this a lot though in salons when I worked in bigger salons where someone's dating life really became a source of amusement.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. It's hard.
It's really hard to stop that. I think for the person who's the subject of that, it's kind of funny for a bit and then it stops.
Yeah, because they're living that experience, and it's like some of the things weren't very nice. Like they were quite awful actually. So having to deal with that, and then it becomes like a bit of a joke of. Yeah, it's not. It's a bit like if you've got someone who's like, a young'un and they're out every weekend, and all the older clients are like, what did you get up to? When you're in Cavos or whatever, and we all want to live, kind of living vicariously through, but also maybe going, I like my non-dramatic life, so I'm going to listen to what all your dramas
are. Some drama through you, and I think there can be that feeling that you've got to be entertaining as a hairdresser.
Yeah.
I remember a friend of mine I worked with once just saying, oh God, I've got to be dead entertaining with this one about his next client. And it's like above putting the show on. It's like some people are coming for this entertainment and you've got to keep delivering.
Too hard.
Tiring.
Very tiring.
I think something else that kind of comes into this about like nosiness is when you've got clients that know each other and one client is either talking about the other one or asking you questions about them. And you're like,
Because you get like, you get, if you get one of the friend group, you do end up getting a bunch of them. Like I had quite a lot of like separate but the full friend group, and if they fell out as well, or have you seen so and so lately, and you'd like, no. Like I remember once hearing about an event, I couldn't even tell you what it was now, but I thought it was dead interesting because the two lasses told us like a completely different version of events, and I think this is a life lesson for me in that, like, there's, like everyone says, there's three sides, isn't there? There's one side, the other side, and what happens probably somewhere in the middle. And I was just like, so tell me what happened. And I'm like, all right, okay. Thinking, this is not the version I heard last week from your best pal, or now ex-best pal. But, I've seen some things in my group where people are like having affairs with other clients' husbands, or the same guys with two women who were there in the same day, and they've worked it out between themselves. Like, I would not want to be in the salon that
day. I remember thinking once, like, I do groups of friends and they'd be talking about each other, and I was just like, I've got to keep a neutral face, like, not push these conversations, or like, no, it's precarious when they're talking about each other in that way.
So what can you do then if you're getting into these tricky, sticky, giving you the ick sort of convos? What do we think the advice is there?
I think that sometimes what's happening is sometimes these icky conversations are coming because we've been oversharing.
Yeah.
Or just sharing, but oversharing or sharing, however you want to think about it. But like I say, I've had coaching clients who've sort of said they were talking about something like, let's say, a breakup a lot with clients, and now they want it to stop because it's over for them. Yeah. And it's actually making it worse. People keep asking, and it's getting painful, and they're not and they just need it to stop. And so I kind of came up with this person. I was like, she said, I need something to say. What do I say? And I just said, say, oh, thanks for asking. But do you know what? I really moved on from that situation now, and I just don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
Let's talk about something else. Yeah. With a smile on your face, and say, oh, thanks for asking.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for asking about that. But, because that's like, not going, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
It kind of softens it. But, thanks for asking. I've moved on. I really don't want to talk about that anymore. Let's talk about something else. And sometimes even have a subject prepared.
Yeah.
Are you watching whatever on Netflix? But I think sometimes a skill is to have conversations in your pocket that you can move on, and moving things on quite quickly. Yeah. But I think that works quite well.
Yeah.
I think also we've really got I think you sometimes have to make a decision on who you are as a person and what you can cope with. And if you don't like debating politics, don't get into it. And I think the trouble that some people have is that some days they're happy to have these conversations and some days not. And that's confusing for people because they're like, we were talking about this last time and now you seem like you can't cope. And I think that there is something about deciding what you're going to talk about at work, what's okay and what's not okay for you. And I think, I think this about, like politics, money, whatever. But I also think about more deep conversations. Like, sometimes I talk about hairdressers can be quite stressed because the conversations are getting quite deep and it can feel quite overwhelming, particularly if you work in a one-on-one way. And I think it's about, if this doesn't float your boat, keep it light all the time.
Yeah.
When it's okay one week and it's not the next, it's confusing for people and then people will keep bringing it up. And so I do think you've got to sort of think about what's okay for you to talk about 24/7.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And what I kind of touched on before, but I think better repeating is it's 24/7 and it's over and over again, like over and over. Like I say, if you see your clients, you might do like semi-permanent makeup and see them every like year or 2 years. Do you want to be talking about your divorce like 2 years for the next 2 years with every single client? Like, that's what I found hard. I almost I used to take the piss and say when we went through the dissolution of the partnership and the new salon, I was like, I'm going to get a laminated sheet of paper, and that's like the handout when you walk through the doors. Like, here's the 5 bullet points of what you want to know. Not up for discussion anymore. Just like, here's the flashcards. I'm not talking. I can't bear to discuss anything anymore. Yeah.
God, I don't even know what it was about, but I remember saying I was going to make a laminated card as well to hand out.
Just pass it on to the next person on your way out.
Yeah, you've got to think about, am I going to be happy to have this conversation in 3 months' time?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and so often hairdressers have said to me over the years, I've started sharing less.
Yeah.
Because it felt good in the moment, but it never felt good afterwards.
Yeah, definitely.
And so they got smarter. And I think I was very much having deep conversations and sharing with clients at some stage in my career. And towards the latter part of it, I really stopped that because it just became quite unmanageable.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So we're going to do... Me and Maddie had a discussion about the sort of funny but slightly passive-aggressive ways we have avoided icky conversations. It's like icky and sometimes just ones you didn't want to have. Yeah. Just silly things that we've done. We're not necessarily recommending that you do these, but we just sort of want to fess up to passive-aggressive things we've done. To avoid icky conversations, but we will get to some more proper solutions after this.
What's your
solutions? We just want to give you a laugh because I think we've all done this. I used to do stuff like pick up 15 magazines in a pile and put them in front of them. A bit
just
like,
pop them down.
This is what you're going to do for the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
While I do your hair, you're going to read all these magazines. It's not it's a strong suggestion. But I literally used to put like 15 in front of them.
Yeah. Or you'd be like you can plug you can charge your phone up, you can put your laptop out. Do you want a book? Do you want 5 biscuits? Do you want something in your cup?
Oh, if you want to ring your friend, I don't mind.
Oh, absolutely fine by me. I loved telling them that you just can't do 2 at the same time. So like for me, if I was either like say foiling, I mean, I used to absolutely hate foiling, or fitting extensions or something that's really precarious, or if I was doing weaves because you have to like stitch them, and I was like, I don't want to do accidental brain surgery, so I'm just going to really get in the zone.
Yeah.
If that's okay. And then I do this really like good little concentration face and
concentrating face.
My furrowed brow, and I'm just like, don't talk to me.
I did that one as well. I used to say, if it's more than 2 colours, I can't do it and have a conversation at the same time.
Yeah.
So
makes
all my
sense.
clients had 3 colours of highlights. But I used to just be like, and I'd just be like, it's in your interests. And like laugh and say, but I need to get these in the right order. I've got to concentrate. I'm really sorry I can't chat.
Yeah.
But there's 15 magazines in front of you. And I used to do these other things sometimes was like, let's say you're blow drying and someone is talking and, I don't want to have this conversation. I used to do things like make a big drama about turning the hairdryer off, putting it down and going, what was that?
Yeah.
And then they'd say it and I'd go, oh yeah. And then I'd put the hairdryer back on, start again. And when they said the next thing, I'd turn it off again and go, what was that? And eventually they'd be like, I'm never going to get my hair dried if I keep talking.
Yeah.
So
it works.
A bit passag, but they were things that I've done that I'm slightly ashamed of to avoid conversations I didn't want to have. But I think in reality, this is my actual advice now, not just for a laugh, is I think there are 2 solutions, which is basically just tell them, like let's say a politics thing is just have a blanket thing of, I don't discuss politics at work.
Yeah, I've seen people who have signs up where it's just like, we don't talk politics or religion. And there's a salon a friend of mine owns, and it's just like, no TERFs, no swerves, no transphobes, no bigots. So she just gets rid of them before they even walk in the door, as in anyone who might have a different conversation. So that works quite well of not getting into the awkward ones. But literally you can have a sign saying, we don't talk about this.
Yeah, and then if someone asks you a question, like, how much do you earn? Just say, how much do you earn?
Yeah. What do you earn? What are you making?
You go first.
Yeah.
But I just think you can basically just say, I don't talk about money in the salon. I don't talk about religion at work. I don't talk about politics. Make a blanket statement. And if they say why, just say it never ends well and move on. You know? But I think if you sort of lay it down as a rule, no one's really going to push for that. And being a bit like, I remember at the last, a bit like you said, people put signs up at the last general election. A friend of mine just put Labour posters all over her salon, and that really shut down anyone presuming she was at all.
Yeah, that's weird too. Yeah, like, and I would do the same. Like, I would have that on my business page as well, like similar to my friend's sign, like, you know, I support like sex workers work, like, you know, pro ho, like all of this stuff. And I'm just like, this is I set my stall out quite clearly on the internet, and I did behind the chair. So you then don't get the ones who are in really oppositional beliefs, or they just know what you're going to say anyway. And I think also if you like have a level of confidence about that, people don't want to debate with you because they're like, you probably are going to know, or like you're going to have quite a firm belief, like it's not worth having that, like they're not going to change your mind, so like why even bother, that kind of thing.
I think you can do the same around gender stuff, you know, you can be like, tell me your pronouns, have pronoun badges, all that stuff, lay it out that this is where I stand.
Exactly that.
And that does push away sometimes people just going, okay, have you heard about this? Can you believe it? It's so annoying. They're like, this is not, I'm not going to go there. Show someone that you're not their audience. So exactly. I think the two solutions I'm talking about is, the number one is being very direct of, I don't talk about this. But I'm actually, and I prefer not to use that if I can help it, because sometimes that can feel a little bit jarring, but I'm a fan of moving things on. Just moving things on. You know, I think it's a brilliant skill that hairdressers have and develop over the years, of just, before you know it, you're talking about something else. People don't even know it ended. But, you know, it's always that, have a toolkit of things you can talk about that are quite popular in your pocket, and just really move that conversation on. Just, you know, even if it's like, oh, I don't talk about politics. Have you seen the Beckham documentary?
That's
like,
it.
Move it on.
That's why it's really such a joy when shows are on that have so much content. Like, Love Island's not my thing, but the girls watch that, or Traitors or Married at First Sight, where there's like so many episodes and you can just be like, let's talk about this. I mean, Hayley, we have a hyper focus every week. We are never short of things to discuss. Do you know what I mean? We've got our toolkit.
Have you got an ice tub?
Breville
toasties.
It's that, you know, that meme, the guy from what it's like the American show, and it's like My Brain, and he's asking all of these different questions and like clipped it together. It's like a real TikTok format. He's like, do you believe in ghosts? Would you spend a night in a haunted house? And it's like my conversational style.
This was what it was like having your hair done with me.
Same. A barrage of like the most banal questions, but I'm like, you're not going to ask me anything weird. I'm just going to keep asking you stuff. That leads us very beautifully, a nice little segue there. What's your bleeding hyperfocus, Hayley?
Well, Maddie, this is a new one, and it just popped up on my Instagram the other day, and I thought, I'm in. I'm a marketer's dream, as we know. I think the pair of us are, really, aren't we? And I saw this thing. Have you heard of a perfume called Fern?
No, I don't think
Spelled
so.
with 2 Fs.
Oh, is it a subscription model thing?
Well, it's this. They make a different perfume every season, 4 times a year. You've got to go on a waiting list for it. There's only so many.
Oh, they got you.
And I was in. I was like, what? And it's not an absolute fortune. It's the price of an average perfume, because I looked it up. But I saw it and I thought, this is interesting. And I read the comments, and the comments were hilarious. You know, some people thought it was great. Some people thought this was ridiculous. But I started Googling about it and reviews, and people were like, it's always amazing, this perfume. I can't tell you.
My friend gets it
a couple of times a year. Does she?
Yeah, that's where I think Bryony gets it. Yeah, she loves it. She's amazing.
What I thought was really interesting, because people were saying like, can you try it before you buy it though? Like, this is like buying a perfume you've never smelled.
It's very personal, isn't it?
Yeah, they're brilliant though. What they do is, if you get on the list and then you get one, they send it out to you with a tester with it, and you get something like 2 weeks, and you can use the sample And if you don't like it, you can send it back and get a refund.
Seems
Which I thought
wild.
was good.
I'd love to know their
Wild.
numbers on figures, like how many people are returning them. So like what because part of what you're paying for is other people's returns. It's a bit like ASOS doing any big like company that does free delivery or free returns. They obviously have a expected like proportion of like, we assume we're going to have this many. Well, let us know how it goes.
Sales, isn't there? When you do free postage,
that's it. Oh, girl math. Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Very interesting.
When it's free returns. Yeah, and so I'm on the list. So I've missed out on winter. And so I'm waiting for the spring drop.
Yeah.
So let's see. We're into the spring drop. So
I hope it's everything that you dreamed of if you get onto it.
Yeah, who even knows if I'll buy it, because the phase could be over by then.
Yeah.
You know, I could have moved on.
Yeah.
Mentally. I'm just interested in the process.
Yeah. Do you know what? I was going to say another one, but you've triggered something else, and it's the same sort of thing, but this is on my mind. Been on my mind for ages. I did a bit of in-person work a little while ago, and it was at Soho Farmhouse in Oxfordshire. And for anyone who doesn't know what Soho House is, it's like a members only, very same sort of vibe. So like you have to apply.
Manchester's getting one.
I know, exciting times. I think so. What I'm saying is, Haley, we need to get a membership. So.
Well, I'm on their mailing list just because I'm so interested in how much it's going to be, what it's going to be like. You know, whether I join or not, I'm just interested in the whole.
Yeah, you've got a level of interest. So this came up for me a while ago because they do a thing which is like members without houses. So like if you don't live anywhere near one, which I don't, you can get a membership so you can go to like any of them. There's a couple of them in LA. They're all literally all over the place. And I was always like, is it the kind of place I want to go, or do I just want to go because I can't go and you like can't take photos? And there's like a page that I follow, like a celebrity gossip page, and they're always like, spotted so and so at Soho House in West Hollywood, and I'm like, oh my god. And I've asked I know a couple of people who are members, and you also need to be. You do better if you get referred by a member, or if you're referred by like a member in great standing. So I've already got my like hit list of like these are the people that I'd asked to recommend. So anyway, I went and because I was a guest of this person, and what I can liken it to is do you know in Bridesmaids when they do the really good bridal shower and she turns up in a shit car, like I have a nice car, but it's like full, like my car's full of like protein drinks and like crisp packets and stuff, and I pull up and I say, I'm a guest of such a person. And I start walking around and I'm like, I don't think you can kind of get around here very easily. It's much bigger than what I thought. And I went to the little reception person and I said, how do I get to this place? And she went, there's go to the milk float. They have converted. They're all like kind of Tiffany blue, like duck egg blue. Go to the milk float. This very beautiful man is like, where can I take you? So I said, just hop in. It's like beautiful leather seats in this milk float. He starts driving you around, and then they have a fleet of Porsche Cayenne electric cars that also just drive you about between the houses. It's like Centre Parks, but like the most bougie Centre Parks, like 10x. Yeah. Honestly, like the food was absolutely amazing. We did a bit of work in the accommodation, and then on the day they checked out, we did a bit of work in the shared bit, and like it was. I thought. Maybe this might be a bit of a wanky place. Not at all. Everyone seemed, you don't dress up. That's the thing. It's like you go like chill. So me and my elevated transitional loungewear fit in perfect. So now I'm a bit back on the hype. So I might put myself on the list. Yeah. See what happens. You have to do a Zoom interview.
Oh, shut up. So you've got. I might fail the one in Manchester. You can. Am I under the understanding that if you join Soho House, you can go in any of them all over the world, or is that a particular membership?
You can go in any of them. There's only one in Malibu that you need like a special one for, but you could go to Oxfordshire. There's a bunch in London. Obviously, Manchester's coming. There's loads in Europe. New York, and I think. From the people I've spoken to who have memberships, they're like, if you want a place to work from when you're somewhere, which I do because I tend to do a bit of work when I'm away, or you have a job where you schmooze people, or you want to meet up with, it's very impressive to be like, Hayley, let's throw a podcast planning in Soho House. So
yes,
I know. And then I thought, out of my mates, I'm always up for a little adventure and shenanigan. So I thought, if I get one, then I can take all the lasses, when we go to London, and then when I come and meet you, I'll be like, Hayley, let's get down the hoose.
Yeah.
So
Will you get one? And then
that's
when
what I
you
mean.
come to
I'll come to you.
I can just come with you.
There you go. Stop. Don't worry, I'll pay for the membership.
They wouldn't be as interested as in going.
Yeah, we'd love a little schmooze, wouldn't we? So
I just want to have a little look. It's interesting that you can't take photos in there, which makes it safe for celebs and what have you.
That's it. Yeah.
I'm not sure Manchester will be that worried about that, but I can see how Malibu.
Well, that's it. Yeah, exactly. Well, you could be the celeb of Manchester, famous Shirley Jepsen.
Yeah. I mean, I am on their list. I signed up for it because I was just like, I want to know how much it is.
Yeah.
I want to know how it's going. I want to be kept abreast of all of this.
Well, apparently, my Soho House contact said that they're delaying the Manchester one a bit. Or they're like, no, it's just taking a little bit longer than, for whatever reason, it's going to be a little bit longer. But then I was on Reddit, and then people were like, it's full of arseholes, go to this other one, and then there's like a kind of competitor one. I don't know if that's more in the States, and like all the cool people go there, whatever. But if you're under 27, you get like a massive discount because you obviously want a load of young folk coming in.
Oh, I feel like it's not for me then. That makes me feel like
but everyone I know who's got a membership's in their 30s.
Yeah.
Or 50s even. There's someone in their 50s I know who's got one. It's about, I was looking at on the application, on the drop down, the jobs are all like influencer, PR, like all of these. And I was like, what made up job title can I have?
I think the point about this, Soho House and this Fern perfume is we're just so interested in the process, Maddie, aren't we?
I know, I love it.
Off?
Yeah, I want to see.
It's so interesting.
I
want to see behind the curtain.
Yeah,
so that's
exactly.
It.
And we just love buying stuff.
Keep me up to date on Soho House, and I'll keep you up to date on my Fern perfume and whether I buy it.
And we'll wear it to Soho House together. The plan. Well, a very exciting end.
All right, madam.
All right, matey. I'll see you next week.
See you next week. Bye.
Ciao.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. And don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments.
Please support those who support us and check out Timely, who we recommend as our favourite booking system for you. New customers can get 50% off their first 3 months with the code COFFEE50.